WagerTalk one-day power pass, you receive every play from every betting consultant for one full day at the ridiculously discounted price of just $149. What's better than spending the day watching and following a great slate of games? Watching, following, and winning those games. Get every WagerTalk expert and every game they release for that day.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco, WagerTalk.com with another edition of Stoppage Time. This is our Tuesday Stoppage Time. Welcome to everyone tuning in today. We are going to cover both games in Champions League being played over the next 2 days and Thursday's Leg 2 semifinal games in Europa League. With me from Sports Memo is Pavlos Laguretos, and from WagerTalk.com, it's Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. Let's bring him in. Let's first talk to good old Kev here. You're on a great run. I think number one last 30 days. How you doing, my friend? And what do you have going today?
Yeah, all good, Carmine. Yeah, number one last 30 days in soccer. Had a fantastic Sunday. Probably only marred by the fact Man United Liverpool never kicked off, but slightly down there yesterday. I had Sevilla last night over in the Liga. They absolutely dominated that game on chances created. I think it was like 16-7 chances created, XG as well, but somehow couldn't convert last night. And, you know, we're almost 30 units of profit up for the month. So minor blip on the going back to last month. So minor blip last night, but I've 2 Champions League plays loaded up for tonight, one for tomorrow as well. And pretty excited about that and excited to talk some soccer.
Awesome. Good to hear. I had to look at some of those video images being shown from Old Trafford. I thought I saw you on the pitch there, but it's some of that looked kind of like you. Anyways, speaking of being on a good run, Nick Borrman, Man United 5% play winner. Orlando City Soccer Club 5% play, another winner. You're doing pretty well, my friend. Plus 28.75% bankroll gain over the last 9-10 days. How you doing, my friend, and what do you have going?
Yeah, similar to Kev. I've been on a good run. Yesterday was the first non-winning day on the soccer pitch in about 5 days. So a little setback, but that's okay. Move on to today and the rest of this week. I love all these Leg 2 matchups. Well, except for the United one. That one's kind of, I don't even know what to do in that game. But we'll get to that later. But yeah, looking forward to talking soccer, and everything's good on my end.
Yeah, the United one will be interesting. Of course, they won't have their new manager that was named this morning. Fonseca is gone. It'll be Jose Mourinho coming in for Roma next season as their manager. Let's bring in the prop master himself, the savant, Pavlos Laguretos. You got a 5% soccer prop bet going on Wednesday. I'm going to have a coupon code later in the show for everyone. And you're like 7-1 lifetime on those ones. How you doing, my friend? And what do you have going?
Yeah, doing great with 5% props that is, because I had a pretty terrible weekend. Everything I shot, went overboard. But anyway, looking to start a new week with some correct scores. And of course, my 5% soccer prop for Wednesday. I have a 3-sport 6-pack up for today with 3 soccer plays from the Champions League, 2 NBA totals, and 1 EuroLeague total. So head over to my page and you'll see all about it.
Awesome. Good to hear. All right. So, guys, we are going to cover the 4 games over the next 3 days. We're going to kick it off with the Man City PSG game. Then we'll go to Chelsea, Real Madrid. We'll follow that up with Roma, Man United. And then we'll finish it off with Arsenal and Villarreal. Still a lot to play for across, at least 3 of these 4 League 2 ties. And let's kick it off with the big one that goes today. Man City, PSG. Man City minus 160. The draw is plus 350. PSG is plus 350 as well. And the total is 3. City obviously went to Paris and got the 2-1 result in leg 1. A shaky start for them, or a very good start for PSG. But once City made some adjustments, and especially so in that second half, Pavlos, they were much the better team in that second half. And I was kind of relieved because I did have City plus 119 as a 5% play. So it was great to see the comeback they made in that second half, which sets them up here to make it to a Champions League final, something that Pep has wanted to do since coming to City. Give me your thoughts on this game, Pavlos.
Yeah, PSG, they were great. I don't know what happened to their goalkeeper in the second half. Maybe just a brain lag or something. He conceded two really weird and maybe, I don't know, childish goals. I don't know how to characterize those goals. But anyway, City, they've been great when they won the first leg on the road, especially when they won by 2-1. They qualified in each of the 3 times they did that. And they've also qualified in all 12 occasions in which they won the first leg on the road by any score. However, PSG, they've been eliminated in all 4 occasions in which they lost the first leg at home. And no English team has been eliminated after winning the first leg on the road. And that's 47 matches in European Cups. So yeah, City, they've been great at home against French teams. They have 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. And PSG have 3 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws on English soil. So this is gonna be tough for PSG. Manchester City, they can progress even with a draw here or even with a loss. 1-0 loss also sees them to the next round. So I think we'll see a very defensive mindset by Pep, like he usually does. But PSG, they know they have to score 2 goals at least in order to have a fighting chance. So I'm not really fond of the over 3 goals because we might as well see a 2-1 or a 1-2. I really like, actually, guys, I like to bet on the correct scores from the first leg to show up in the second leg. So maybe PSG to win by a 2-1 at plus 1400. Just a small stake bet and see how it goes. And maybe PSG with +1. Also, I'd like to go with the over 4.5 cards here. I mentioned in the previous match that Neymar will get a card, and he did. Because when things got tough for PSG, he lost it and he got a card. So I think we'll see a lot of tackles, a lot of physical game tonight. So over 4.5 cards and PSG with +1 for me.
Yeah, and speaking of those cards, Pavlos, one of them that I did take for today, and I don't normally take a lot of players to be booked, but I'm just going with the premise that if PSG is still behind into the second half of this game or gets a little late, someone like Verratti of PSG could pick up a yellow card. He's a bit of a hothead. And he's plus 187 to pick up a yellow today. So that is one that I included on my prop bets card for today. Nick, they shut down Neymar. They shut down Mbappe for the most part in leg one. And by shutting him down, I mean they literally stopped them in midfield from making those long runs that they normally do. We don't know what the status is of Mbappe. I think he's a game time decision today. There is no new news as of taping of the show. So give me your thoughts on this game, and can they overturn this 2-1 home loss?
Yeah, obviously a lot of the wild card right now is Mbappe playing. But really that first leg was the tale of 2 halves. PSG were the better side in that first half, even though City did do a decent job of containing those 2 guys. PSG were the ones that had the chances in the first half. They probably could have led 2-0 at halftime, didn't capitalize. Of course, that came back to bite them as Pep gave the ultimate pep talk at halftime, and those guys really looked solid in the second half. So, which way we're going to see this game come out here. And it's always tough when you know what you have to do. It's good you know what you have to do for PSG, but it's tough when you know you have to score 2 goals and Man City can play. I mean, they're the best defensive team out there right now. Well, I guess it's mostly because their offense is so good. Best defense is a good offense, right? So it's going to be tough for PSG to come through here and win, but they have all the talent in the world. They've proven they can win at this stage, right? They made it to the finals last year. They knocked out Barcelona. They knocked out Bayern Munich. Of course, that all exists when Mbappe is in the lineup. So it'll a lot depend on if he's playing. Even if he's in, he may be a little limp, I guess, in this game, but we'll see. But I don't know. City to me looks like an easy play, but I don't like it. I think just on the fact that if this game's close at the end, they don't have to win, right? You guys Pavlos already touched on that. A draw will see them through. So if this thing is level, 20, 15 minutes to go, what do? Do they sit back? Do they just go to protect the lead and play defense like they know how to do very, very well? With that mindset, I'm leaning towards PSG and taking the plus goals just simply because Man City doesn't have to win. Right now, it's plus 3/4 of a goal is the market that's out there everywhere. I bought +1, which was -130. I also threw a flyer out there on PSG to win and both teams to score because I just don't see City not scoring here. So that was +650 on PSG to win. Because again, they can win this game, and Man City can still progress. This thing could go to extra time, or they could win a 1-0, as Pavlos mentioned, and Man City still progresses. So there's a lot of ways that PSG can cover this spread, and City isn't really too concerned about it. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards the PSG on the line here.
Yeah, and Kev, you look at this, and we discussed this on Thursday stoppage time about City and in their home game or in their game that they played against Crystal Palace, and the fact that they likely would rest a lot of players in that game. And they did, you know what I mean? Gundogan, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Bernardo Silva, Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, Phil Foden, none of them saw action in that game. So they're rested. We know that obviously PSG did have to start a majority, if not all of their full squad, as they're still in that League One race with Lille. While I don't think fatigue is an issue, there's got to be an advantage to having a rested squad prior to a League 2 match that is going to be a physically taxing one, I would think. Your thoughts?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right off the bat, I actually think PSG at upwards of I've seen 11-1s hanging out there on the outright markets for the Champions League proper. And I think that's probably worth a small shot here. It's a huge price. So, I mean, I can see all the reasons outlined for City here, but I do agree with the fellas, even with Mbappe potentially out, game time decision, as you guys said, no Idrissa either, which is huge, because that potentially has Pochettino kind of scrambling with moving Verratti back potentially, or, whatever way he decides to play it. There's definitely going to be more space in the centre of the field for City to operate in. But this narrative, I was watching the media over here, and they were like, City were sublime, one of the best performances in Europe, and it's like, I just don't get it. Yes, they were good in that second half, but they couldn't have been much worse. They were really poor in that first half, and Pavlos touched on what Navas was doing. I can't even fathom what he was thinking with De Bruyne's cross. I'm just not completely sold on this automatic City in the final train just yet. And I'm not sure also if Pavlos mentioned this because he was going over stats and trends there. But history is really against PSG here. English teams who've gone to the continent in the first leg secured a win in the knockout phase, 47-0 to progress historically. That's pretty concrete, but. History's there to be broken at the end of the day. PSG went to Spain, smashed Barcelona, went to Germany, beat Bayern. So you just cannot write them off here completely. A little prop bet that I like in this game, Neymar +700 to be first goal scorer tonight. We know Mbappe is questionable. He mightn't even play the full game even if he does start. And the fact that in the last 4 Champions League matches Neymar has scored in, all 4 were the opening goal of the game. So +700 looks a big price. Probably worth a wee small prop bet as well. So yeah, PSG actually on the outright to win, 11-1. Neymar first goal scorer +700. I like both of those.
Well, nice price there, my friend. And yeah, I think the 2 away goals are obviously the biggest factor here. If City were returning home 1-0, that it might be a little dicier, but the 2-1 gives them a little margin for error, in the sense of they could lose 1-0 and still progress to the final. So hopefully it is a good one today. I know this one will be a good one tomorrow. Chelsea and Real Madrid. Chelsea +125. The draw is +230. Real Madrid +230 as well. The total is 2.25, which is the same total it was last time. So that's a split line of 2.5. 1-1 draw in Spain in Leg 1. Nick, I'm going to go to you first on this one. Everything's still up for grabs here. All it takes is a Real Madrid 1-0 victory, and even a 1-1 draw gets them into extra time here. So there's a lot left. There's still a lot in the balance here before we can possibly, I'm just saying possibly, see a couple EPL squads or PL squads in the final once again. Give me your thoughts on this one.
We all talked about before last week's show, or during last week's show, that this matchup last week was probably the harder of the two to predict, and it was going to be a very close game. And while the scoreline obviously shows that 1-1, I actually think it was pretty lopsided as terms of play on the field. I thought Chelsea were clearly the better team on the field and had a lot more chances in that game, and were unlucky not to walk away with the win there, which, I was surprised about. I mean, I knew Chelsea's a good team, but I didn't think Real Madrid would play as I thought they played pretty poorly overall. Knowing that, I mean, I think going back home, I think it's a plus money play on Chelsea for me here. They've been absolutely fantastic. We've talked about a million times since Tuchel took over. They've held their opponents to 1 goal or less in 21 of 22 matches, the only exception being 5 goals to West Brom of all teams. But they've held Tottenham, Liverpool, Atletico twice, United, Porto, even Man City, scoreless, right, during that run, and then, of course, the 1 goal to Real Madrid. I mean, it just proves that against the biggest teams, Kevin loves to say, play Chelsea against the biggest teams out there and fade them against the crap teams. And he's right. I mean, they show up against the solid teams. And I think at this plus price, it's hard for me not just to say, all right, I'm taking Chelsea here. They were the better team in the first leg. They're home. They should be able to win this game. Yeah, it could draw again. It could go to extra time. I mean, Real Madrid could win, of course. It could go either way. There's plenty of talent both ways, but I like the price here on Chelsea. Another good option is, again, it's probably going to be low scoring. Last week, I got cute. I tried both teams to score no prop. I should have just stuck with the under, which I know Kevin did. And we were all talking and thought that thing was over after the first half, but it played out much like we thought it would the rest of the game, and the under came through. And kudos to both Kev and Carm for both holding a Chelsea to win the Champions League ticket. So good luck on that, boys. I'll be rooting for you because I'm also going to take Chelsea just in this game to go ahead and win.
Yeah, Nick, 14-1 on Chelsea. I'm kind of hoping that does come in, but in order for that to come in, they've got to get by tomorrow, and then we'll look into. And I know I'm gonna get it from Kevin for using this phrase, but if they make it to the finals, I can look at a good hedge on that 14-1 ticket. Kev, go ahead, give it to me. I know you're waiting for it. Give me your thoughts on this game and your thoughts on hedging bets.
My thoughts on hedging bets. Look, why would you hedge out, man? Chelsea are going to win the Champions League. Everyone knows it. So just like PSG last year as well. So, look, I just, if I'm in for a play, I'm just in for it. Like, unless it's life-changing money, I generally don't hedge. But look, as Nick said, I was on the under last week in leg one, and definitely had to ride my luck a little as Chelsea were up. And as well as that, the point about Chelsea being the much better team, completely agree, especially early. Chelsea were absolutely tearing through that Madrid back line, and the cross was open in 20 minutes. It could have been 3-0, but thankfully the pace died down for my under and we cashed that ticket. But I'm going to have to look towards the same way here again tomorrow. I know it's a second leg tie. I know they're traditionally that bit more volatile as teams look to press if they're behind and so on, but Chelsea's record at home under Thomas Tuchel has been just absolutely superb. We keep saying this. It's like Groundhog Day every time we come on this show, but it just needs to be said. Just 5 goals allowed over the last 8 home games in London in the Premier League. All 5 of those goals came against West Brom. All 5. So that's 7 clean sheets across those 8 games in the English capital. And across all competitions, that increases to 10 clean sheets in their last 11 games. Like, that is flat out ridiculous. This Chelsea team at home, unless your name is West Brom, are absolutely watertight at the back. And this is another game I just can't see a lot of goals happening in. That Benzema thunder strike into the roof of the net last week was Madrid's only shot on goal over the entire match. So I think Madrid are going to need something equally as sensational here to break the deadlock. So yeah, give me the under 2.25. It is a low total, but I just think Chelsea kind of, probably a 1-0 Chelsea win for me here because they do have the better defense, even with Sergio Ramos back. But I just don't see a lot of goals here. So yeah, under 2.25.
Yeah, Kev, and I tend to agree with you. The thought is here, and I know you were sweating that play last week. You have under 2.25 goals, and you get 2 in the first 28 minutes. And if Werner could actually find the net, it might have been a lot worse than for Madrid than a 1-1 draw. But this isn't a game where Chelsea where Madrid have to come and push the play, and at least not initially. So they don't need goals. They need to win the game 1-0, but that doesn't put an urgency to get out there and press high and try and score and make themselves vulnerable defensively. So the longer we go without a goal here, that under 2.25 goals, I think looks pretty good in this spot. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, I had Real Madrid or draw and the over 1.5 goal as a 5% play, and I also sweat that match like a lot. As Kevin said, you guys made some great points. I think Chelsea should have been up by maybe 3-0 by the half-hour mark. They were excellent in the first half, both offensively and defensively. As Kevin said, they only allowed one shot on target to Real Madrid. Of course, that shot on target was the goal. I'm not so sure what to expect from the second leg. I mean, if someone went with the over, I wouldn't blame him. If someone went with the under, I wouldn't blame him either. What I would maybe expect from this match was, I know Chelsea are gonna play massive defense, but I don't think it's too far out to see at least one goal in the first half. The odds are not great for the over 3/4 goals in the first half, or over maybe one goal in the first half at plus 112. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by a 1-1 draw either. You guys know I like to bet the reverse correct score, so maybe we'll see another maybe a 1-1 draw at plus 525, or maybe an outright draw at plus 238.
Okay, that's Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. Pavlos has a 5% play up on Wednesday. You can get that play $10 off on that play using promo code REDCARD10. That's REDCARD10. That's not a joke. I'm giving Pavlos the red card. REDCARD10. I will put it in our comment section as well too to get $10 off that. Guys, it's also $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. $2 Tuesdays is when you can get the top cappers plays at both sites for only $2. Included with that play are some promotional deals that you can get as well too. At WagerTalk, the $2 capper is my co-host on Puck Time, which follows this show. So please tune in. Andrew McInnes. He does a fantastic job of hosting the show. He has an MLB play up, and he's 4-0 with 5% MLB plays. So don't miss that play. Over at Sports Memo, it's Ross Benjamin. He is 60% across all sports the last 30 days, also on a bit of a heater. You can get his top play for only $2. So head over there to WagerTalk and Sports Memo. All right, guys, let's head into the third game. We're into Thursday's games now, Europa League games. Roma, Man United, probably the only one of the four games we're going to discuss where the final outcome is already determined. United poured it on late after falling behind a 2-1 to Roma, scoring 5, winning 6-2, and they've essentially booked their place in the finals. Roma's plus 280 at home. The draw's plus 260. Manchester United minus 110. The total is 3.25 goals, which is a split line of 3.5. Kev, I'm going to go to you first on this one. When you get a score line like 6-2 in leg one, it really makes it tough to figure out what to do in leg two. And you start to think about, well, do the teams have anything left in domestic league play where they could possibly rest some players? And they really don't. United are pretty much locked into second place, and Roma are outside of the top four, don't really have a chance at a Champions League spot. What are your thoughts, Kev?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's all but pride to play for right now. Roma to progress is 40-1, which is like, doesn't even kind of quantify the chances that they have of progressing here. But there is always the aggregate scoreline. So as much as Roma might know the gig's up, what's the point? It's almost like, well, we don't want to lose by any more because this will still stay in their record. If United come here, win 3 or 4-0, and then suddenly it's 10-2 aggregate scoreline. So I would take Roma here. That the way I'd look on this one is definitely Roma here catching a half-goal head start. United will obviously just want to get through this game, put this game to bed, move on to the final. But they have 3 games to play over the next 6 days from Thursday on, 2 which are on the road. So there will be a bit of load management going on in this United team, and as long as they don't completely collapse, I don't see them being necessarily gung-ho for this win here either. So, can Roma pull out another shock? We've seen them do it against Barcelona a couple of seasons ago. No. I'll just say, I just don't see it. So, if I was playing this, I just think this will be low scoring. I think Roma have pride to play for, and I think United will kind of game manage to the point of, look, let's get out of here with a draw. Let's get out of here possibly with a 2-1 scoreline kind of thing, even to Roma. So, yeah, if I was playing this one, I'd definitely look towards Roma plus a half a goal.
Yeah, no, and I see it. I'm not really sure which way I'm going to go on this one. And I'm going to go you next, Pavlos. Up probably quite a few different prop bets. One of them will likely be Cavani again to score. I had him in the last game. I'll probably likely do that again. And obviously, anytime you take these player props, always click on that option that they give you that voids your bet if the player does not start. So you're not stuck with a player prop and the guy is sitting on the bench. Pavlos, give me your thoughts on this game.
Yeah, Roma, they've been bad lately. I think they're in the worst possible situation to go on a bad run. They're winless in their last 6, 4 losses, 2 draws. They conceded multiple goals in 4 of those matches. They just look like they have no gas left in the tank in the most crucial part of the season. Manchester United, they did great in the Europa League knockout stages. They won all 3 away matches against Granada, AC Milan, and Real Sociedad, and they didn't even concede a goal. However, they conceded goals in all 3 away matches in the group stage. So I don't really know what to expect here. Kevin made some great points about the Roma plus half a goal. I would like to say a fun stat about Roma. In 2018, they lost to Barcelona by 4-1 in the first leg of the quarterfinals. And then they went and scored 3 goals. They won by 3-0 in the second leg, and they progressed. So that was a major upset. They came back from 3 goals behind. So it was a really nice thing to do. But then they went to the semifinals, and they were up against Liverpool. They lost by 5-2 in the first leg on the road. And then they won at home by 4-2. They were really close to matching the correct score. So but then again, that was 2 years ago when they had an influential player in their ranks, Daniele De Rossi. I don't think they have such an influential player right now in the roster. I don't think that there is an anchor guy that that can push the whole team ahead. This is just an indifferent match for me. I think I'll watch the Villarreal versus Arsenal match on that day. Maybe over 3.25 goals, but I don't really like anything much in this match.
Yeah, Nick, it's a tough one, and you can see it from what we're discussing so far. The first 2 guys on it. We can look at totals. We can look at both teams to score and over 2.5 or 3.5 goals. It's a tough one unless you're a stout Roma fan and you think they're going to win 4-0 at 66-1 odds. I don't see that happening, but give me your thoughts on this one.
Basically, this tie, I mean, they said it's over. I was happy to catch the 5%er on United in the first go around. So this one, I mean, I actually, you mentioned in the beginning, Carm, about not having much to play for domestically. The one angle I kind of lean a little bit towards is Roma trying to secure their Europa Conference berth. They still are right there. They actually hold that spot right now. And Mourinho needs a trophy next year, right? So perhaps they try and rest some guys here and go for the glory of the Europa Conference in domestic league and get that, and then get in there next year. And Mourinho finally gets his trophy and all's right in the world. I mean, maybe. So I don't know. To me, I think it's United. I think they just want to keep the momentum going. They don't have anything to play for in domestic league. I mean, I think one win and pretty much guarantees their spot as number 2. I mean, we know it's going to stay there. So I actually like Man United to come out here with a better side, probably play more of their players, maybe not the full game, but just to keep the momentum going. versus Roma, maybe taking a little bit of a step back here and going, you know what, let's focus on domestic. Let's make sure we get a European berth. I think it's more embarrassing to not get a European berth than to go into the first Europa Conference and maybe be the first ever winner. I guess there's something to that. Or maybe it's more embarrassing to be in the Europa Conference. I'm not sure. But I lean a little bit towards United here. Very small, though. Again, just it's hard to play a game like this where the outcome's pretty much already decided.
All right, and we're pretty certain that they have booked their way into the finals where they'll meet one of these next two teams. It's Arsenal and Villarreal. Villarreal won the first leg at home 2-1. Arsenal is a slight favorite here at -120. The draw is +275. Villarreal is +300. The total here is 2.5. Pavlos, I'm going to go to you first on this one for some quick thoughts on this game.
Yes, Villarreal, they were great in the first half of that match, of the first leg. They scored 2 early goals, and they didn't even allow a shot on their target. So Arsenal, they were much better in the second half. They managed to score a goal even though they played with a man down. Ceballos got a red card at the 57th minute. I'm not really sure about Arsenal's defense. Actually, I hated Arsenal all of the season. Their defense is just terrible. No matter how much money they throw into it, it's just terrible. They kept just 1 clean sheet in 6 home matches in the Europa League this season. While Villarreal, they scored in all 6 away matches in the Europa League. So I would expect Villarreal to maybe score here. I love the 2-1 correct score, the reverse, from the first leg that sends this match to extra time. The 2-1 correct score line goes at +700, and I'm going to be on that with a small stake bet. Villarreal, they have a great defense. Maybe they can keep a clean sheet here, but I don't see that happening. Arsenal, they have Aubameyang back. He's going to be, I think, fully healthy. So, I think we'll see many goals here. Maybe the over 2.5. No, it's 2.25 goals at +100. And the 2-1 correct scoreline at +700. Really love that.
Yeah, and listen, they are not out of it by getting that goal, the all-important away goal, 1-0 win. Nick will see Arsenal through. I don't think it'll be a one goal win, but I think the fact that they get Aubameyang back into the lineup, and he did feature on the weekend and did score against Newcastle. So it's good to see that. We don't know. Lacazette will probably miss with a thigh injury. Give me your thoughts on this one, Nick.
Do you ask Nick? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking Kevin. I do have a 5% selection up for this game, so I won't touch too much on the side or total, but I'll throw a couple goal scorer plays or props I like out there. If Arsenal does score, Lacazette's likely out here, so it's either Aubameyang or Saka, who's +240, and I would go with Saka here, who's got the better return. And then for Villarreal, it's either going to be Moreno, at +185 or Alcacer at 255. And I like Paco in that one, Alcacer +255. I think he's likely to score. He's got 5 or 6 goals in the Europa already this year. So, and if you really feel like pissing away your money, you can parlay Alcacer and Saka for a +1050 return for both to find the net in this game, as I think it's very likely that if both teams are on the board here, those are the 2 guys most likely to be doing the damage. But again, I do have a 5% play on this game. I do like one angle really well here, so make sure to head on my page, check that one out.
All right, the final word, and good luck on that play, Nick. The final word goes to Kevin Dolan.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't decided what way to approach this game just yet, in all honesty. We have that 4% nationality, a winner English one, which we talked last week about, bet. That's still in play for us ahead of this time. Might well sit this one out because of that. As bar an absolute miracle in Rome, a win for Arsenal here on Thursday night. Suddenly it's red panty night for the, in the Dolan household. So I will likely sit this one out and just support Arsenal from the wings. So lean to Arsenal, but nothing more than that right now.
I don't think the viewers need to know what you're going to be wearing on Friday or Thursday night. Okay, guys, listen, thanks for tuning in. On Thursday, we are going to cover some big domestic league games that go on the weekend, and there are 4 really good ones, and we'll quickly recap the 4 games from this week. Remember, it's $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, where you can pick up a feature Cappers plays for only $2. It is Andrew McInnes, my co-host on Puck Time. Top of the hour, guys. Tune in. Andrew, myself, and live from Mexico, Don Buster will be on today's show. Over at Sports Memo, it is Ross Benjamin, and he has a play up. He's 60% over the last 30 days. You can get their plays for only $2. And of course, Red Card 10 to get $10 off Pavlos's 5% play at Sports Memo that goes on Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Want up-to-the-minute scores and odds direct from Las Vegas? Then check out our WagerTalk odds page. You'll get all the latest lines along with moves as they happen from all the biggest books in Las Vegas, including Westgate Superbook, Circa, Golden Nugget, Wynn, Stations, CG, and South Point, just to name a few. Best of all, it's absolutely free.